Hello and welcome back to Post Electronics. Today I'm working on a 2009 Nissan X-Trail with the 2-liter diesel engine. This car comes from another shop. They asked me if I can repair the engine issue for this car. And then I said maybe. What's the problem? Then they said multiple problems like internal fault of the ECU and timing codes and code for a solenoid. Maybe I don't remember exactly which code all. Then I told them, please bring this car to me. I want to test the ECU in the car. So now this is the reason why this car is here now. So start from scratch, make a game plan. First plug in the scanner and let's see what kind of trouble codes I get, and then go from there. So I'm inside the car now. This car has 236,000 kilometers. Let's scan the ECU. I have to select the right car first. Okay, let's scan it for codes. Straight to the engine. Read codes. Okay, we have a P0016, which is a timing code, cam and crank correlation. P0340, the camshaft position sensor. P1525, ASCD function, don't know what that is. P0235, the boost sensor for the turbo. I would say I'm attacking the cam position sensor first. Maybe this timing code is related to the glitches of the camshaft sensor. That can be. Another thing what I realized, let's check this long crank time. Oh no, the battery is dead. Okay, this is my kind of boost pack for now. Try again. Wow, that's a long crank time. Try again. Again the long crank time. By the way, this engine here is a cooperation with Renault European. I have exactly the same engine in my own car, so I can take measurements there if necessary. And I know the camshaft position sensor is right here. This 3-pin Hall effect sensor. I go straight to this sensor with my Pico and not to the ECU, because it's very hard to access these connectors here. Here's the wiring diagram for this camshaft sensor. This is E1 here. And pin 3 is battery positive 12 volts and pin 1 is ground. Pin 2 is the signal wire. I found that out with printed out layout here. So on pin 1 and 3 I should have battery voltage. And this I will test with my test lamp here directly on the sensor. First make the ignition on. Bright light, so power feed is good. Now measure the signal with the Pico. I connected the Pico to the camshaft sensor. Pin 1 is ground, pin 2 is the signal wire. So setting up the Pico. plus minus 20 volts because the sensor works on battery voltage, time base. I go for a half a second per division. So let's try. Now the car doesn't start anymore. Why ever? I think you have seen it already. This sensor seems to work. I don't know yet if this pattern is okay, but I think so. Now next let's do a cam and crankshaft correlation test. So now I have no other choice than go directly to the ECU to measure all the signals. For this, at the best I have to remove the battery. Let's do this. I have connected the cam and crank sensor directly at the ECU to prevent any issues on the harness. I ever want to check what the ECU directly can see. So let's roll the scope. Okay, scope is set up, 2 channels. Wow, that was fast. Let's see. What is this? No signal from the camshaft sensor on the ECU. Okay. Did I connect it wrong? Or I mean, is my connection bad here? Try again. Oh. Out with the zoom window. So try again. So let's see. Oh, it was a bad connection. Now I have both signals. Good. So next thing, I need a good cam and crank waveform for this car. First save this. Blah blah blah. I do it later. So I find a known good waveform in the Pico library, by the way, and this hump here appears up after on the 6th hump of the crankshaft, and compare this to my measurement here. This hump comes after the 1st hump of the crankshaft, so this timing chain is jumped, to be exactly by about 30 degrees. So that's the final diagnosis for this long crank time and this timing code. Let's see what the customer will do with this car. Maybe gives a follow-up, or it is what it is. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. So a little bit bonus footage here. This here is the suspected bad pattern from the Nissan, and here I have a known good pattern from the same engine. So put some cursors. By the way, this waveform here is a bit wonky because the battery voltage was not stable. I had to install the jump pack. So let's say here we have our 0 degrees cursor on the middle of the sink notch from the crankshaft. Okay, then go 720 further to here, again in the middle from the sink notch. Good. Now put some cursors. This hump here from the camshaft, this falling edge, should appear very much later on the 6th hump from the crankshaft, right here. Let's zoom in a little bit after the top. So let's compare the time on the suspected bed. Put the timing cursor on the falling edge of the sink notch from the camshaft and a little bit after the 6th hump from the crankshaft, about here. So this timing is about 30 degrees advanced. Advanced because it appears too early here. This sink notch should come later. Now I did some research on the internet and found these two pictures. This here is the sprocket from the camshaft. It has 42 teeth, and this here is the sprocket from the crankshaft. It has 21 teeth. Totally makes sense because the gear ratio is 2:1. Now make a simple calculation. 360 divided by 21 tooths is 17.40 degrees per tooth on the crankshaft, and we are off about 30 degrees. So let's divide this. 29.21 divided by 17.40. So 1.7. So definitely we can say this timing chain is jumped for 2 teeth on the crankshaft. The power of the picoscope in this situation is phenomenal. Otherwise you have to disassemble the timing cover and inspect it manually, and at the least you found the timing chain is okay. But in this way you have 100% diagnosed. You can be sure. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.